What's up guys? Welcome to my channel Sushi Traveler Rio. This video I'm going to show you how to make perfect sushi rice. This is my new episode recording all in English. I think a lot of people who watching this video right now are maybe new viewer. So I'm going to quick introduce myself and then get back to the episode. I'm Rio, Japanese name Ryota. Last 6 years I was working in Tokyo as a sushi chef, and right now I'm road tripping down the coast of California with my wife. And I ask people, if you take me fishing, I'll make you sushi. Along this journey, I met so many awesome people, helped me to create this content. A lot of people asked me if I'm doing it in English, and I haven't done it yet, but I think this time I'm going to challenge myself to do it. I found out that a lot of people are still trying to find how to make perfect sushi rice. As a sushi chef, rice is one of the most important thing. A lot of people focus on fish, but I think rice is important as much as fish, because traditional sushi rice is nigiri, right? And it's basically rice and sliced fish on the top. Amount of rice is way more than the fish, right? So if the rice is not good, and then whole sushi isn't good. I mean, you could say it to the fish too. If you make perfect rice, but if the fish is not good, if fish is smelly, and then the fish is not taste good. So it has to have a balance, the good quality of fish and good quality of rice. Cooking rice, it can be very simple, but at the same time, I feel like it's very complicated. And right now I'm in the van. I don't have a fridge. I only have like propane gas and cooker and some pots. So if I can do it, you can do it. So let's get started. And there are so many ways to cook rice. I mean, it's not one way to cook. There's not only one answer. There are so many. And my theory is, first of all, you soak the rice. That's my theory. I mean, I learned from my rice master. Why I soak the rice is, for example, if you ever cook beans, you soak the beans for overnight or even 24 hours, right? Because if you don't soak the beans and cook it, the inside is still hard even you cook for 3 hours. And if you want to cook it fully inside, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes you gotta use a pressure cooker. But if you use a lot of pressure, that breaks the surface of the beans. You can maybe cook the inside, but the outside is completely broke. You can put those theory into rice too. I mean, each grain is such a small piece that you don't really taste it. But if you don't soak the rice and cook it, the core, it's not cooked, even if you feel cooked. That's why you gotta soak the rice. And also, after you cook the rice, you mix with the sushi vinegar. When you cook a sushi rice, you gotta make it hotter than usual. That means you put less water. That way, if you don't soak the rice and cook it, on the bottom, you have like enough water to cook it. But on the top, you start heating from the bottom. The bottom rises up, so the top doesn't cook. You think you finished the cooking process and you check it. The top is still hard. It's not cooked. It happens. So you don't want that. But if you cook too much water, then the rice gets so mushy. If you want to make good sushi rice, it has to be good texture. It's not like mushy and all one together. It gotta be like separated when you eat it. It's not like sticky and That's why my theory is soak the rice. I'm going to show you my way of cooking rice. I'm going to use container. First, I'm going to rinse off rice. So a lot of people ask me what kind of rice am I using, and this is what I'm using. I mean, of course, in Japan, I use Japanese rice, but I bought this in the States, San Diego. And this is like you can get it at Costco or like even supermarket. California cod rose rice. This is not even short grain rice, which is the Japanese grain rice. It says medium grain. Compared to Japanese rice, it's skinny and long. Taste is it's way different. I love the experiment. That's why I'm using this. I don't even have a measure cup, so I'm just using my daily coffee cup. And 1, 2. There's rice and water. And the first you put water and quick, you drain it. Because the first one, the rice absorb a lot of water. If you like soak it too much, they absorb this white water. So that's why they gotta rinse it off quick. And then you can kind of like mix it, like kind of wash it. And again, water. Mixing it, kind of like rub each other for like twice. I rinsed it off 3 or 4 times, and then still kind of white is more clear. The water that you soak the rice, you're going to use to cook the rice too. At this point, you can calculate how much water you need to use when you cook the rice, and you can just put all the water in and soak. And you put in the fridge for overnight or maybe like 24 hours, up to 3 days. That's maximum. I put 2 cups of water, same amount, so 1. If you put 3, put 3. But the key is when you're rinsing off the rice start absorbing the water, so you gotta calculate that number too. The easy way to do it is, let's say 100 grams of rice you're cooking. You need 100 grams of water. After you rinse it off, container, put on the scale, set 0, and then put the rice that you just rinsed off. You know it's more than 100 because absorbing water. You add water up to 200 grams. Then put it in the fridge. Yeah, always put it in the fridge, not on a counter somewhere. You don't want the room temperature. And why I'm doing this right now is yesterday I made a sushi for local Mexican. I bought some ice from the market because, in the van I don't really use the ice. Even I have a cooler box, but it's not cooled. It's always room temperature. But yesterday I got the ice, so the box is quite cold. That's why I can soak the rice finally. It's rare that I'm doing in a van. Yeah, waiting for tomorrow. It's been almost 24 hours. Oh no, oh yeah, that's good. The ice was melted and the container was kind of like sinking, but the water doesn't get in, so it should be good. Ta-da! You see, all white and definitely got bigger. Can you tell the difference? And the water is icy cold. I think a lot of people wondering if you soak rice too much and then the rice gets really weak and start break down. Let's see. It's definitely softer than like when it dried. It's very easy break with your nails. So the key is you gotta be gentle after you soak the rice. And also a lot of people ask me if you soak too much, the rice get too mushy. As long as you put less water when you cook it, and it's okay. If you put too much water, it doesn't matter if you soak it or not, it's get mushy. The water control. I don't have any scale or measure cups. I couldn't scale it, and this is a bit too much. I'm gonna start cooking. My pot, like this is a normal pot that I'm using. This time when I cook the rice, pour it in, all in. Don't waste this water. If you drain it and put new water, it's gonna be tasteless rice. This is definitely way too much water. I'm gonna drain a bit. I think this is good. The water covers the top of the rice, but it's barely covered. It's not too much, kind of like this much, only like 0.2 centimeters or something. Between 8 to 12 minutes to boil it. A lot of people say high heat, but that's not exactly. It depends on the rice, right? If you put a lot of rice in the high heat, what does that mean? So I'm saying you're gonna set around like 8 to 10 minutes to boil it. The first time, I think better to set alarm 8 minutes, and then start with like in the middle and then see how it behave. And if you think it's too slow, and then you kind of check it, and then, you only have like 1 minute left, and it's not even coming up, and then you can turn it on. But yeah, about around that time. Of course, if you put lid on, it's going to be a little bit faster. And always put lid on. The making sushi, you cannot really success just one time. When you cook it for the first time, and then you will see like, oh, maybe I want a little bit harder, I want a little bit softer. Next time you can control, maybe put more water or less water. Yeah, you can always, play with the number. Okay, now it's like boiling. You keep boiling for 1 minute. Then the flame down to low heat for 12 minutes. If you cook too much on a high heat, like it's very like bubbly and boiling, that's gonna cause the rice break down, and you don't want that. So you gotta really check it. Once you hit the boiling point, you keep that for 1 minute. After finish that, turn down to low heat, and then 12 minutes. There are several ways to heating up. I really don't know about electronic one. The way of heating is completely different than flame. The flame is like from the bottom, right? But also like from the side, you can heat it. But those electronic one is only from the bottom. So it's different. I cannot really say how to do it on those one, only on flame. Also, while I'm cooking it, I'm going to talk about sushi vinegar. Sushi vinegar is, I think it's simple. Rice vinegar and sugar and salt, that's it. I mean, some people put kombu, seaweed in it, but just make it simple first. If you want more complexity, you put another ingredients. So start with those 3: vinegar, salt, and sugar. If you're using 100 milliliter of rice vinegar, I put salt 15 grams. The sugar, I put 20 grams, and you just mix it until it's all mixed and all melt, and that's it. But that's the basic one. If you don't want saltiness, just take out the salty. So let's say 100 grams of vinegar, 10 grams of salt, and then 20 grams of sugar. If you like salty one, put more salt, less sugar. Sweet one, put more sugar than salt. That's it. It's pretty simple. In Japan, edomae, the trend right now is way much more salt than sugar. Some restaurants, they don't even use sugar, just pure salt. But their vinegar is a little bit different, and they got red color. It's called akazu. I've never tried it, but you can also make it with apple vinegar and any other vinegar. It's very simple. Sushi is simple. That's why it's so complicated. Now it's about 11 minutes, 1 minute remain. On this time, open the lid and see how it looks like. Open. Where you're checking is like if it's too much water or not, if it looks good. I think it looks really good. If it's too much water, kind of like sticky thing on the top, If you see that, leave the lid for another minute, and then on the 12-minute, and you shut the flame. But it looks good, so I'm gonna close the lid and wait for about 30 more seconds, and then done. Okay, I'm going to use a towel, wrap it around always. Anything that you could keep this temperature, you just wrap it around, because you don't want to cool it down until mixed with the vinegar. You want to keep the temperature. That's why you protect from the airs and everything, trying to keep the heat always. I'm going to steam for 8 minutes. In the van, I don't have proper tool to mix the rice either. I don't have anything, so I'm going to use this container again. You put 20% of the sushi vinegar for the amount of dried rice. If you want more acidity, you put more vinegar. But if you put more vinegar, that means you put more salt and sugar. So if you just want the acidity, when you're mixing the sushi vinegar, you put less sugar and salt. And of course, if you don't want the acidity, you use less sushi vinegar, but that means less salt and sugar. I think you gotta, cook it for at least 5 times and see if you want sweeter or saltier. Take a memo every time and don't forget it. So next time you can use, oh, maybe I'm gonna put more, whatever. Things like that, yeah. All, experiment. You see that each grain has no compressed or something. It's very, very nice, very clean. The last step is mixing with the sushi vinegar. You gotta be really quick because you don't want the temperature too low. It's gonna be like 10% of the cooked rice. Spread, mix it. You see, when you're mixing it already, each grain and they're flying around. It's not sticking all together. That's how you make the perfect sushi rice. It's different, right? A lot of people, sushi chef, using their wood thing to mixing it. And I'm telling you why. Because those wood absorbing the water too. The wood is breathing. So if you have there too much moisture, the wood is taken in. So the rice doesn't get soggy. All right. And once you're done mixing, it's actually pretty good. I'm really surprised that the Californian rice can do pretty good job. I always keep saying that I don't have any tool, but I have this wood container. This is how it looks. Yeah, it looks perfect. Looks delicious. Doesn't look like mushy at all. Moving in here. You need to rest it for 30 minutes to get right consistency, because you can tell right after you mix it with the vinegar and you try to make a rice bowl, sushi, it very falling apart because the rice is still absorbing the vinegar. If you sit and rest for 30 minutes, and then it's going to be perfect time to make a sushi. So. And of course, I have left over this rice. Looks hard, right? Yeah, I made it hard. It's still good. Definitely, when you soak it, it has more flavor. Please, just try it. Leave me a comment. Okay, now about 30 minutes. You see? It doesn't look like mushy, no? いただきます。Yeah. Each rice, like when you're eating it in the mouth, it's all like spread out and it's not like sticky at all. You don't believe me until you tried. I can show you guys if it's not sticky or not. See? This was my way of making sushi rice. As I said, there are so many ways. There's no one answer. If you are struggling and try to find the best way to cook rice, maybe you gotta give it a shot. And if you tried, if you made it, please give me a comment how you liked it, or if you have any question, let me know and I'll definitely answer you. And for the next episode, if you have any idea, or like I want to know this and I want to know that, like any idea, leave me a comment down below. This video I talked so much because this making sushi rice is not just how it looks good. It's more like theory. It's more like in the brain, like you need to know the calculation, right? So that's why I talk too much, and this is my first English video, and this video was useful, yeah, please give me a thumb up and subscribe. Maybe I'll show you how to fillet, how to find the worms on a rock cod or something. But yeah, I'll try to keep this episode in English, so leave me a comment if you have any idea, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.